Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Hodges. Joining me today, we've got a very special guest. He's a European Championships medalist. He's an NCAA champion. And most recently, he is the ISL champion as a part of the Cali Condors, Marcin Cieslak. How's it going, man?
Good, good. Thank you for having me.
I was going back and forth with you during the ISL bubble. I was trying to get you on because I'm excited. Your story is really cool, and especially lately, you've really come on. You went like 39 best times in the ISL season or something, and but you kept pushing off, which is totally understandable because like you said, you just said to me, it takes a lot of mental energy to race. To do these races, to step up in ISL. And that's where I want to start. Talk to me about racing in the bubble and maybe what it takes physically, but more importantly, what it takes mentally.
Yeah, so just like you said, there's this thing about racing where as the race is coming up, you need to have this freshness in your mind, this excitement. And it's usually there when you're not racing for a good amount of time and the big meet is coming up. The excitement is there. But for this season, I think one of the big challenges was the frequency of which the meets were happening. And I think that was a crucial thing in performing well. It was staying fresh and having that excitement, that mental energy going for you every time you race. Because some of the best races happen when you have it. You just feel light, ready to go, excited, and that's when it happens, when the magic happens. So I think that was a challenge, but I think most of the swimmers are experienced enough, and they have a way of finding that Zen mode, getting rest in between meets, and just staying fresh. For me, I'm coming back to swimming after a 3-year break, so I'm very hungry of racing. I can't get enough of it. So that, I think that was a part of it for me. Just like I wanted more. Every meet wasn't wearing me out. I just wanted another one. It just because I haven't done many of them in a long time. So it's just like, it's a great experience. I try to be mindful of and just be in the moment and experience it. So even after the final, I was ready to go again,
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, so you answered one of my questions, and one thing that I absolutely want to get into, which is that you took a 3-year break. And then you came back at some point. And it's like, to give our listeners a little more context, if you didn't pay attention to the ISL season, you were going 1-2 with Caleb routinely in the 100 IM, 50 fly, 100 fly. I mean, like you were his running mate every single time, and it was awesome to watch. You guys were dominant in some of those events, and there was 2 different times where you guys stole all the points in that 100 IM race, and semis and finals. I think it was just you were the only 2 scorers.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. That was an amazing experience. Yeah.
And so tell me how prepared were you coming into the ISL bubble? What shape were you in at that point?
So this year has been fairly strange for everyone. I mean, pretty much for anyone in the swimming community. But I think what happened has actually played to the swimmers' advantage. The fact that some people were outside of the pool. I think there were many benefits and many lessons to be learned from what happened. Is I think people got stronger physically, doing a little more dry land. I think that could be a thing that people implement more into their training. I think just this like mental break from the pool, maybe changing some technical aspects of your stroke. After taking a break, you come back and then maybe you can revisit your stroke and build it from fundamentals again. And I think all of those things contributed to my performances. I definitely got stronger over the quarantine period. as I said, I was hungry of racing. There wasn't much competing, and I definitely that is something that it just gets me going. I'm the type of guy that doesn't really go that fast at practice, but once I'm on the block and there's a good race, I can drop the hammer there. But yeah, I think since this was the biggest meet of the year, uh, a lot of people had the time to train for it and then give themselves some rest. I think if this was just a regular season without COVID, I think the swimming wouldn't be that fast in ISL. But since it was the only thing that was going to happen in the swimming world, it made it more special. People treat it as the thing to do. That's like the big thing in swimming. Um, so yeah, that was like same thing for me. I was just getting ready for ISL. I knew this was going to be the only big meet this year, so I took it seriously. I prepped pretty much ever since I signed with the Condors. I've been prepping for the ISL, and we knew ahead of time that's going to be a bubble. It's going to be a couple week period that we have to be ready for. So those are the things that we had to account for while training, while prepping for the ISL. And I'm fortunate that I'm training by myself. I don't really have a coach, so I think inside of the bubble, a lot of people came and they had to train with a different coach. Let's say there's 5 coaches on the Cali Condors team. Many swimmers, over 30 swimmers, and some of them had to be put in different groups. And it's a tricky situation because like the coach won't know you, the new coach, the team coach. So the communication is super important. Like, are you getting enough rest between meets? This is a new situation. There's a meet every week. We want to get faster as it goes. Then like the meets start getting super tight towards the final. So it was like a tricky situation for anyone. I think the fact that I write my workouts and just develop the program myself, I was just basing everything on the field. So if I felt tired, I was giving myself more rest. If I had a period where I could put some training in, I would do it. But it was just like I was using the intuition I had in my body. Like, should I push or should I rest? So yeah, that was like a tricky part about the bubble season.
That's super interesting, especially because I would have assumed that maybe even only in the bubble you've been training with Troy, right? Because you're a Florida alum, and you're laughing like, no, he goes way too hard. I'm not doing that.
No. Part of the deal of signing to the Condors was I'm not going to train with Troy.
It's in your contract. It's not going to happen.
It's part of it. It's a part of it.
And so you're training by yourself, and again, I want to get into that too. But one more, still on ISL. Tell me about the team. Being a part of the Cali Condors, maybe outside of the races. What was it like for you?
No, it was a special experience, I got to say. And there is like a paradox in this because, in the time where there's the social isolation and those are times where you don't really get into groups, and then they create this bubble that is supposed to isolate us from the world, but it really turns out into being this amazing social experience. You're putting together all those people in the hotel and in the closed tight bubble, and they get to interact with each other. I think that was like the biggest social experience of 2020 for me, which I find super cool. I think that's like my favorite part about the structure of the season is this, just like the ability to have all these people on the team and maybe even on other teams. I got to meet a lot of new people, make those relationships, and I strongly believe that those things grow you as a person. Getting to know people, older, younger, exchanging ideas, seeing how they see the world, how they see swimming even, or just how they see life, learning from people like Cieslak or Caleb on my team, just having a lot of those conversations that I think contributed to my well-being and just like personal growth this year. So I just find it funny that in the time where we're supposed to be isolated, I find this a very revolutionary social experience for myself. And obviously the structure brought us closer together as a team. The fact that we're all together, always on the same bus, training together, getting into the pool together, leaving the pool together. It just created more of those situations where we got to interact, talk. So there was a lot of that, and I love that part about ISL this year.
That does sound super cool, and the bubble in itself, like you said, meant to isolate, but it seems like everyone I've talked to, they really enjoyed it. It sounds like it was a positive experience for everyone. Was there anyone on the team that stood out to you in the pool, outside of the pool? I mean, if we're talking inside the pool, I think you were my biggest surprise of the season. Seeing how well you performed. But was there anyone who you met or you had seen swim before, but really surprised you on that team in particular? Maybe again, inside, outside the pool, whatever.
Oh yeah, many people. I mean, obviously Caleb. I don't think you have to mention that. I think the expectations were high when it comes to Caleb this season, but still, the times he was dropping, just insane. Let's just acknowledge how insane it was. But there are just some people that didn't even know, and they turned out to be not only great swimmers but also super cool. Like there was the Eddie Wang on our team, this kid from Taiwan, 18 years old. Such a good guy. Just love being around him. It was like dropping hammers left and right on the 2-fly for free. So yeah, just super happy to meet him. Bina Nelson, I think she was like a person that I didn't hear of before, and she's just amazing in swimming. And there's just many people in the finals. Like we had a couple guys getting close to world records. Olivia almost got it. Caleb got a couple. Lily won all the skins. She won like all the races. It'd be nice to have betting, and I saw then I could always bet my money on Lillian breaststroke. I'd be rich.
Fingers crossed moving forward that'll be the case. I know there have been whispers, but.
And I think one person that made a big impact on me was Jason, and I think that we just like bonded a lot of times, and I think there's some things that are very similar about how we approach swimming now. I'm a little older, training by myself. I know he did too. So he was just one of those people where I tried to absorb as much of their knowledge, personality as the bubble went. So yeah, I just had many conversations. I know he's not a swimmer on the team, but a lot of our interactions were about swimming, and Jason is the good person to talk to about really anything, like dealing with meets, training for meets. It's like a nuanced situation where you train by yourself. You have to find a motivation, good ideas, have a good schedule, like don't really mess up as you go. So I found him like a perfect person to be around during that time.
And I mean, you're absolutely right. Training by yourself, a very nuanced situation, and we've seen more people be able to do it. I think in recent years, but I don't think that makes it easier. And I mean, it sounds like a hard situation. So let's talk about that. You have a good career. You go to the 2012 Olympics, and then I think you stepped away for 3 years, I think you said, and you started Flex, which is a super cool company, and we love Flex, and you make really cool videos. But it's like, tell me when did you get the itch? When did you start wanting to come back?
Yeah, so I decided to retire in 2016, and obviously it was a tough decision. Breaking up with something that just so close to your heart, and you do for so many years. It is a part of your self-worth. Even you feel a swimmer. You associate yourself with, like, your value is associated with how well you swim. But yeah, I was this type of swimmer. I had a good college career, then went into the pro swimming, and I was just like placing world champs finals. Maybe 2015, I got fifth in the or sixth in the 200 IM. This is just good swimming, but I just had to, 2016, I don't make the team. And, at that time I started thinking, started reevaluating if this is the good thing to be, to continue on doing. I had some different ambitions and just like projects in my head I kind of want to try, and swimming was, sort of stopping me from doing them. I had this I was just starting a swim academy in Poland, and Flex was sort of picking up. We had an investor come on board, so I decided, it was breaking my heart, but I decided to just stop and put my time more towards the just different projects in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And, initially I was happy with it. Wasn't missing swimming all that much, but as time went on, I was just like still in the swimming community. I was working with kids back at home, doing training camps. I was just like trying to be, I was passionate towards swimming and trying to like give it to the kids, make sure they catch the swimming bug. Then, we're doing a lot of like algorithm training for Flex or the videos. And I, end up at the pool a few times a week. So, swimming was always there. And I, with time, as we built the technology and started using it, on like pretty much daily, I this is just like spark showed up again. And I started training, it was still for fun. Swimming was there to, just be like a peaceful thing I do after a work day.
Yeah.
So all of the Flex guys decided to go to Masters Nationals in 2019. And I go there and go my best time in the 50 butterfly. I was like, well, okay, there's something to it. So I do another 3-4 month training cycle and go to Polish Nationals and go my best time again. So I'm pretty shocked by then. I did so much training and I wasn't really like getting there. It was good, but not good enough. And now I'm like enjoying it and also getting my best times. So I went all in into training. Started designing my life around swimming again. I still had to fit work in there, but I found enough time, maybe some in the morning, some in the afternoon, where I did the workouts, and trained for a year like that, and won the medal at the Europeans. And I was like, it was mind-blowing experience. Like being completely honest, it's like, how did this happen?
I remember watching that
pushed
meet.
me forward. I started being more hungry for racing. I went out there trying to search for new ideas. Talking to people, since I don't consider myself like extreme expert in swimming. There's many things that I know of, the physiology and just getting the body ready for a meet. But I think I got very curious about what I can be doing, and then using that knowledge to my benefit. Designing the training around all the knowledge from the coaches. So here I am. Like with a fresh mind. Happy that I'm swimming. It's a lot of fun for me. So I'm looking forward to be enjoying this for the next couple of years for sure.
I remember watching 2019 European Short Course Championships, and I think it was the 200 free relay that Poland won silver in. I was like, is that the same guy? So like, is that the dude for who swam at like the Flex guy? And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like he swam like a 50. It's like older guys do that. And then you medaled in the 100 fly. I was like, whoa, like that's pretty legit.
So I think that is a part of it, man. If I'm being honest, I think I trained for wrong events most of my life. With Troy at UF, even before in high school in Poland. I was just this like 4 IM 200 fly guy for most of my swimming. And, maybe it's partially my fault, but, no one at any point sort of saw this maybe more sprinting body type or sprinting stroke. So, I think when I got to the top of my career in those events, I think that, that was the ceiling. This is it. I wouldn't get any faster. So now I'm coming back and swimming completely different events. 50 is a strong event of mine, which is, I used to not ever do. 100 is probably like my best event. So I think that is a part of it. Is I'm not only coming back fresh, not doing it for 3 years, but I'm also coming back doing a completely different thing. The training that I've never done before. So feeling like a junior guy who's just getting their first good training sessions in. I do a lot of lifting, swim fast a lot, pretty much every day of the week. I just go hard. Um, yeah, the sessions are short but very intense. I could do like a 40-minute workout, but do a lot of lactate sets or just some power. Don't really do a lot of slow swimming these days. I think I did plenty of it. So my cardio days are usually on the bike. I try to like cross country ski if I can, maybe do some running. But I really avoid swimming slow. So whenever I come to the pool, I just go super fast.
That sounds super cool. And I just talked to someone else the other day, a couple people I think, who were like, "Yeah, I supplement, especially due to quarantine. I've been supplementing a lot of the aerobic work for on the bike, which it seems like it's working for a lot of people. So I mean, during when everything shut down in March, what was your situation like? And I mean, did that kind of play with your motivation or wanting to keep swimming at all?
A little bit. I think is sports is just so enrooted in having the goal. What drives you is this thing out there that you sort of think, even if you're not thinking about it, it's there. Like what drives you. You go to practice with the vision of getting closer, a little bit closer to the goal that is in front of you. So I think whenever this was taken away from us with Olympics being canceled, definitely like the goal disappearing is a little like a moment where things become a little shaky. You lose the routine. Like it's not as clear as why you're doing it. How are you supposed to go about this? So like without the vision, it is a little difficult. But I think for me, maybe I struggled for a week or two, and then I decided to come up with a new vision. My new vision would be, hey, I just want to keep on getting stronger, and this is for my health, and at some point this is going to pay off. So I think like the goal wasn't really a meet, somewhere in the calendar towards the end of the year, but it was more like the means of getting there. It's difficult to explain, but I think that's what got me through. That's what got me motivated, and I didn't really have a period of during when I stopped training. I think when quarantine happened, we were in Spain for a training trip,
Mhm.
and they pulled us back, and we had to do a two week quarantine in the house where like police, like there's like people checking on us every day if we're in the house. So me and two other friends, actually one of them is Radi from Cali Condors, stayed in my parents' house. My parents moved out into another house in the city, and they left us the house here in the suburbs where we have looks like a backyard where we could train, and just houses is just a little bigger, so the three of us could fit here. And we had like it was pretty crazy because we had people bringing them gym equipment. It was like someone dropping a barbell and some weights, some bringing us kettlebells and balls. Like we had the stretch cord and the like a rowing machine. Like week into the quarantine, it was like we're thinking about opening a gym. Selling tickets to come
Yeah.
work with us. So yeah, and just having the three of us, three guys in the house, living together, helped. I didn't really have a period where training was difficult. So we did a lot of lifting. Of course, guys love lifting. So that was like a fun part of the day. Did a little bit of cardio, and I don't know. Whenever pools opened up again 2 months later, we all felt pretty good. So I don't know. It can be a lesson when designing training plans. Maybe there could be periods where you only go super hard on strength and conditioning training, and you're not really doing much water. Maybe taking a break from the water is a thing. I mean, it seems like it did work out for some people not having the swimming part of training in their life, in their regimen. So yeah, those are things that I thought of when putting together the plan for the ISL season when training, and I did. I stuck to it and did more dryland throughout the season. So I don't know. I think it was sort of an interesting experience. It could have some growth associated with it. Within everyone in the swimming world.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's been great to talk to people about their different styles of training and what they've been doing during quarantine, because you get all these different ideas and people had to get really creative. When you were, talking to people about formulating your own routine or your own philosophy on how you wanted to train yourself, was there anyone in particular whose ideas really struck you as intelligent or that really hit a note with you?
Uh, yeah, yes, for sure, for sure. There's a lot. The thing is, I have a long list of people that I talk to about swimming, and those are some, legendary swimmers from Poland. Paweł Korzeniowski is like, one of the better swimmers in the history of the country, and he's a very good friend of mine. So there are people kind of like them that I talk to frequently when trying to come up with the training plans. There's some coaches that I really respect and that have good knowledge that I always try to take advice from. And man, honestly, internet is a great source of getting some information. I follow people like Dave Saylor and copy some of his workouts. Actually, your show, man, your show that the pancakes show.
Practicing pancakes.
Amazing. It's amazing. You know how many ideas I got from that show? So thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Great show. Like NC State guys training, I got some good ideas from them. Yeah, like YouTube and your show. Those are great places to get good ideas for training.
That makes me so happy to hear. I'm glad I'm so glad someone gets something out of that. That's super cool. So like you mentioned you had been on a training trip in Spain when quarantine started. If you're training with Polish teammates or, like you said, Cali Condor teammates in the bubble, are you doing workouts with them, or is it just still kind of you're doing your own thing, they're doing their own thing?
I did a couple with the team, more so for like the training, the team culture type of thing. So I joined the spring group for like a few workouts throughout the camp, just to like get people to know people a little bit better. But no, 95% of the workouts I did myself. I think there would be too much risk if I decided to join a group and start doing something completely new. I think sticking to the routine I had, to my plan, was the only smart thing. And Jason was very supportive of it. From the very beginning, he told me just keep doing what you're doing. And I think he just imagined what, like, he put himself in my shoes coming to this camp, and maybe you're excited. There are a lot of fast people. You want to join and train with them. But no, just stick to what you're doing. This is the best thing you can do right now. Just keep on doing your schedule, do your yardage, don't overdo things. Just get ready for the meet like no one was here. So there was something I really appreciate about the Condors team. There was at no point there was some pressure on me to come join the NC State group or Caleb's group. Everyone was was letting me be, and I'm very grateful for it. It's not even that someone told me to be a part of it. I didn't even feel the pressure, the expectation of me having to join one of the groups.
That is really nice, and that's really great that they did.
And I think this comes from Jason being a GM. I think that's I got very lucky that a person like him is the leader of the team, because he's been through it. He trained by himself. He came on many trips, and yeah, it's just like the culture he builds. It's very relaxed, but also very supportive. You feel like, I train so much less than everyone else, but still feel a part of the team, which,
Mm.
I think is great.
This is great. So on the flip side of that, you train by yourself a lot. Maybe not in the bubble, but just in general. I mean, does that get lonely? Does that wear on you? Do you wish you had teammates at times, or for the most part, are you pretty okay with training by yourself?
Uh, so like the teammates part and maybe racing, those are the two things that I miss some.
Mhm.
And I try to get together with some people for race days. Maybe join a group if they're doing like a big lactate set, or they have a race day with suits. I would join them just to have the racing experience. But I think there are just so many more benefits for me. The fact that I can set my schedule. The schedule is very fluid. I would train.
Mhm.
I train whenever I can. Sometimes in the morning. Sometimes I'll go at noon, and sometimes I go at like 7 p.m. Just whenever I have the time. Um, so yeah, I enjoy this freedom. I go there, and sometimes I plan on doing a 30-minute session. I stay in the pool for an hour and a half, just because like I have the energy, and I'm in the zone. So just having that freedom, I think I work well when I have the freedom, when nobody tells me um, what to do. I guess. Yeah.
I mean, that's it's a really interesting point. And I don't think all swimmers could do this or all people can do this, but it seems like, like you said, you trained for certain events for a long time under these coaches, and then you stepped away, and then you came back, and you get to have a lot of independence and a lot of ownership of what you're doing, and it seems like it's working really well.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like there's like a strategy building part to it that I enjoy a lot. Just sitting down and writing the plan, and then going about the plan. I don't know. I just like find it very fulfilling. You know,
Hmm.
like the process of being also the guy who decides what should be done. And I think like I wouldn't be able to do this 5 years ago. There's no way.
Hmm.
Like this age is a big part of training by yourself. It's like a mental thing. Like put me in my own group and make me my own coach at age of 22, and I'd be lost. My brain, I'll be freaking out that I'm not doing it right, doing something wrong, not doing enough. I'll get lost. But at this point, when I'm older, I've done, worked with many coaches. I don't have problems with motivating myself. It just comes naturally. I think age and experience is associated with training by yourself, and it helps a ton.
It's wise words. uh, so to finish up, moving forward, you just wrapped up the ISL bubble. Um, so like you said, you don't really have problems with motivation, but what are you looking for in the future, or are you just kind of continuing that mindset of I'm going to get stronger, I'm going to get better, and it's going to pay off somewhere down the road?
Yeah, my mentality these days is so much different than it used to be. Like I said, swimming, it was just like everything to me, but almost in a bad way. It was just this thing that everything resolved around swimming. Just my self worth. Um, just like my living situation and mood, like everything was based on swimming, and I didn't really like that. And now coming back to swimming, I feel none of that pressure. I just think about it so much differently. And man, I'm not even thinking about finishing, like retiring at any time soon. I just want to keep on doing it. I'm enjoying it, giving me a lot of fun. Looking forward to more bubble experiences. Like I told you, this is amazing experience for me. Yeah, I'm just like happy to see what comes. Really, just like curious about the future. I'll stick to my training plan. I have plenty of motivation in my head. I'll keep on doing what I'm doing. I have some ideas on what I can add. how much, how I could get better. But in general, I'm looking into the future and seeing, waiting for what comes, my way.
Well, Marcin, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk with me for a while. Any parting thoughts before we sign off?
Yeah, just saying what's up to the Flex guys. I'm definitely gonna listen to this. Yeah, just thank you for having me, man. Appreciate the time as well.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.